Mr. Smith, I don't know if you're aware of this. I don't know if your counsel has made you aware that President Trump is live tweeting, I guess you call it truth socialing, as we speak. Are you aware of this, about this hearing?
No.
Let me read to you what he posted an hour and a half ago. Deranged Jack Smith is being decimated before Congress. It was over when they discussed his past failures and unfair prosecutions. He destroyed many lives under the guise of legitimacy. Jack Smith is a deranged animal who shouldn't be allowed to practice law. If you're a Republican, his license would be taken away from him, and far worse. Hopefully the Attorney General is looking at what he's done. We have a word for this. It's called weaponization.
Trump has a playbook for how he handles people who try to hold him accountable. In August 2023, right after your office indicted him, President Trump shared that playbook on social media for everyone to see. He wrote, "If you go after me, I'm coming for you." Trump has said that you, Mr. Smith, should be investigated and put in prison. He called you a disgrace to humanity, a radical left Marxist, a criminal. In fact, Trump has used the words deranged Jack Smith 185 times on Truth Social.
And the gentleman from Colorado is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, thank you for being here. Thank you for your service to our country. My colleague from Virginia, who's a Republican colleague who was questioning you right before the break, do you know what he said in the days after January 6th? Let me share this with you. This is a quote of his from a press release on January 8th. Congress stands united in our rejection of the violence that occurred this week, and I'll continue to urge the swift prosecution of those involved to the fullest extent of the law. Mr. Smith, this is theater. Republicans are trying to rewrite history. That's what this is. Many of them were with us in the House chamber on January 6th. I remember it well. The chairman was there, as was I. There's been a lot of discussion about witnesses today. Perhaps the chairman could muster the courage to call the 4 witnesses who I see, the American public may not see, I see standing behind you, Mr. Smith, the 4 police officers who risked everything, life and limb, to do what? To protect the Republican members on the dais. It's an outrage that they now sit here and have the audacity to try to rewrite history in front of the very officers who sacrificed everything to protect them. Mr. Smith, you're of course aware that President Trump was impeached for his conduct connected to January 6th, right?
Correct.
Do you know how many members of Congress voted to impeach him?
I don't recall.
232. Do you know how many Republican members of Congress voted to impeach him?
I don't recall.
10 Republican members of Congress voted to impeach him for his conduct related to January 6th, including at the time, the sitting Republican chairwoman of their conference. There was a trial in the United States Senate. Senators sat as jurors. I remember it well because I was one of the prosecutors who prosecuted that case. Do you know how many senators voted to convict President Trump of high crimes and misdemeanors during that trial, Mr. Smith?
I don't recall.
57 senators. Do you know how many Republicans voted to convict him?
I don't recall.
7 Republican United States senators voted to convict President Trump of high crimes and misdemeanors. It was the most bipartisan vote for conviction of a president in the history of the Republic. So they can engage in as much histrionics as they want to try to rewrite history, but facts are facts. They talk about weaponization. They accuse you of weaponization of the justice system. While the Federal Reserve Board chairman rings the alarm about political retaliation by this Department of Justice. Mr. Smith, I don't know if you're aware of this. I don't know if your counsel has made you aware that President Trump is live tweeting, I guess you call it truth socialing, as we speak. Are you aware of this, about this hearing?
No.
Let me read to you what he posted an hour and a half ago. Deranged Jack Smith is being decimated before Congress. It was over when they discussed his past failures and unfair prosecutions. He destroyed many lives under the guise of legitimacy. Jack Smith is a deranged animal who shouldn't be allowed to practice law. If you're a Republican, his license would be taken away from him, and far worse. Hopefully, the Attorney General is looking at what he's done. We have a word for this. It's called weaponization. It's called corruption. Mr. Smith, if you care to respond, I'll give you an opportunity, but I will simply say we are grateful for your service to this country. We appreciate your fidelity to the rule of law. And I would echo the comments that have been made by my Democratic colleagues to ignore the noise that you hear from so many of my colleagues who would debase themselves in this way. It is, in my view, subversive of the oaths that we took to defend the Constitution.
The gentlelady from Vermont is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Smith, I want to discuss Volume 2 of your report, which summarizes the findings of your investigation into President Trump's hoarding of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago and his efforts to obstruct the FBI's investigation. Mr. Smith, is it generally the practice for a special counsel's report to be made public to the American people?
I want to say first, I'm limited what I can say about Volume 2 because of Judge Cannon's order. I can say generally that with respect to special counsels, there are regulations that direct a special counsel to draft a report. Whether that report becomes public is determined, the Attorney General has the authority to determine that.
To the best of your knowledge, was Special Counsel Mueller's report made public in full?
I know it was made public. I'm not sure if it was made public in full.
What about Special Counsel Hur's report?
My recollection is his report was made public in full. I believe that's correct.
And Special Counsel Weiss's report?
I do not know.
Okay. Now, I understand that the district judge, Aileen Cannon, the Trump appointee who oversaw the case in Florida, issued a gag order that prevents you from discussing any parts of the classified documents investigation that is not already public. I understand that, including your findings that you laid out in Volume 2 of that report. Am I correct that the reason your report is not available in full to the public is because of this gag order?
I wrote a report. The Attorney General, it was submitted to him. I understand generally that there's been litigation about whether this report would be public or not. I have not been a party to that litigation. I just know that there is an order, and I know the Department of Justice, the current Department of Justice, has interpreted that order in a way that I cannot speak about anything that could possibly be in that report and its findings.
And when Judge Cannon issued that gag order, she cited pending cases against Trump's co-defendants. Is that correct?
I'm sorry?
When Judge Cannon issued the gag order, she cited pending cases against Trump's co-defendants. Is that correct?
That's my recollection.
Are those cases still pending?
No, they're not.
No, they're not. So there is no reason, from where I sit, for this important information to be not made public. At this point, I want to turn now to President Trump's attacks on you. Trump has a playbook for how he handles people who try to hold him accountable. In August 2023, right after your office indicted him, President Trump shared that playbook on social media for everyone to see. He wrote, "If you go after me, I'm coming for you." Trump has said that you, Mr. Smith, should be investigated and put in prison. He called you a disgrace to humanity, a radical left Marxist, a criminal. In fact, Trump has used the words deranged Jack Smith 185 times on Truth Social. How do you think that these statements have impacted you, your staff, and your investigation?
With respect to me, I think the statements are meant to intimidate me. I will not be intimidated. I think these statements are also made as a warning to others what will happen if they stand up. And I am, as I say, I'm not going to be intimidated. We did our work pursuant to department policy. We followed the facts and we followed the law, and that process resulted in proof beyond a reasonable doubt that he committed serious crimes. I'm not going to pretend that didn't happen because he's threatening me.
And Mr. Smith, do you believe that President Trump's Department of Justice will find some way to indict you?
I believe that they will do everything in their power to do that because they've been ordered to by the president.
That's very concerning, obviously. It's very concerning to all of us, at least on this side of the aisle. This is Trump's playbook at work. Complain loudly, gin up hatred and resentment, then express a hope that somebody will do something, but never explicitly order anyone to act, and then watch as his followers and loyalists go after their targets. This is what happened on January 6th. Trump stood at the Ellipse and gave a campaign speech to his supporters, and he said, if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. And I think it's clear that his intimidation will stop at nothing. I want to speak on behalf, in closing, I want to speak on behalf
No
of
closing.
people.
Chairman, regular order.
No, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman,
I'm
regular
sorry,
order.
you have gone over numerous times.
Time belongs to
I am
the
taking
gentlelady
my
from Vermont.
few
I'll let you
moments.
go a couple of
Thank
seconds.
you, Mr. Chair.
Like I have all day.
Thank you. On behalf of the people of the state of Vermont, thank you for all of your 30 years of service to this country and to the police officers sitting here. I'm ashamed that you have not gotten your due.
Time of the gentlelady has expired.
yield back.
Gentleman.